Alright, if y'all not gonna say it, I'm gonna say it. And I don't give a fuck what y'all say. You know I don't give a fuck. If we go to war, America gonna lose this war. And whoever our allies is, if we even have any, we're gonna lose. We're gonna go against Iran, Pakistan. They gonna help. Russia, China, North Korea. Just China alone will fuck us up. And I'm just being real. Russia and China together, plus North Korea, and you know Africa, a lot of African countries, they gonna help Russia and China. They definitely gonna help China. Y'all fuck this country because y'all want to be racist. And y'all want to hire a fucking racist idiot in office to lead y'all. And now y'all done fucked the country. Because y'all don't want to lose our white privilege. We can't be the least majority in this country. Shit, now you ain't got no country. Now you're not about to have a country. Hateful, racist motherfuckers. Y'all so fucking stupid. Y'all, it's over with. If don't nobody stop this motherfucker from going to war, from the looks of it, it's nothing he can do now. I think this is inedible. Iran ain't playing. They coming for us. They don't get no fucks. And what China say to America? He said, if you want war, we got it. They ready. These are countries that itching to beat the shit out of America. Itching. Y'all done fuck this country because you want to be hateful. Racism is expensive. And it's going to cost the lives of a lot of people because of y'all. I hope y'all sleep good at night. You people that voted for Trump, I hope you sleep good at night knowing you're about to lose this fucking country.
Shalom, shalom, Akiyam. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. I would also like to give a double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. I would also like to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000 men of Israel, which consists of the servants, the prophets, whom have been ordained since the foundations of this earth to sing this new song, which comes in the form of this gospel, which will be preached throughout all four corners of this earth and rest upon the ears of the innumerable multitude, men, women, and children of Israel, who may be scattered throughout all four corners of this earth. It's just Bayan back again through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And I just want to get into a brief lesson, tapping into this article I came across earlier today while I was at the plantation. And as you can see the clip from the beloved brother, this is the reality, okay, of Mystery Babylon the Great's fate. Okay, she's at the end of the road, and ultimately all good things must come to an end. All right, there's no building back better. All right, there's no bringing this place back to the golden days. All right, it's over. All right, we're in the time of war. All right, there's a sound of battle in the land. Okay, and it ends with Babylon the Great turning into a desolate land. Okay, and that's just the reality of this story. Okay, before I read this article, right, let's go ahead real quick. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, and verse 7, and it reads, concerning Edom, which is the so-called white man, women, and child. And don't get it twisted, there's going to be Israelites that look like Esau, being that we were scattered, all right, via the curses of Deuteronomy 28 and 64, all right, but that will be something that's distinguishable through the Spirit. All right, ultimately, but for the most part, all right, these clean leper, all right, red lobster, all right, wicked, profane demons are Edomites, man. Okay? Concerning Edom, Jeremiah 49:7, thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. See that? Yahweh of armies. This is how he introduces himself, all right, to you damn demons. This is the energy Yahweh Bashim Yahushua comes in when it comes to dealing with you. Okay? Because there will not be any mercy shown to you when your judgment comes into its perfection. Is wisdom no more in Teman? All right, which Teman is talking to the Germans, the wise of the Edomites. All right, that's why you have something called German engineering. Right? Check it out. Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished, man? And these questions are being raised because ultimately Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is stripping you, okay, of your prudence and of your wisdom. All right, of your so-called wise counsel. You see, he's making you stumble. He's making you literally as well. As we can see, Biden and Trump both stumbled going up those stairs leading to the presidential aircraft. Okay, he has these devils falling headlong, man. Okay, because ultimately they're at the end of the road, and now they're being made an open shame. Okay, they're bearing shame for glory. All right, as it tells us in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. Let's continue on. Jeremiah 49:8, right? Here's the point. Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. Okay, and we're living in that time. We're living in the time of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man's visitation. That mark, all right, that was set upon him as Cain, all right, and manifested as Esau, okay, is ultimately no longer a covering of protection. You see, that distinguishable mark is now being used to locate and detect you, man. Okay, that's why scripture says you've been found, man. Matter of fact, let's go ahead. Let's just jump up a chapter. Jeremiah 4, Jeremiah chapter 50. Khan. We'll start at verse 22. That's the spirit. I had mentioned this, right, in the beginning of the lesson. A sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. Okay, this is what we're witnessing now. All right, the sound of battle in the land. Bear with me. All right, and ultimately great destruction is going to come out of it, man. All right, because unbeknownst to the world, okay, these two Goliaths in the form of Babylon and Gog, Magog, which is Russia, they're going to go at it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Okay, what we're seeing with Israel and Iran going at it, this is a precursor, all right, to the greatest war, all right, that's gonna ever be witnessed by mankind, man. Okay, which is gonna pretty much do away with this eon. You see, continuing on. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations, man? How that's going to be accomplished is when the BRICS nations, along with Babylon's allies, okay, the European Union, shooting missiles on this place, man. That's the reality of the story. That's why when you read up in verse 9, it says what? For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. This is talking to the northeast, okay, which is old Media territory. You see? Look. And they shall set themselves in array against her, right? A battle formation. And it says an assembly of great nations, plural. Okay? Because again, Russia, they formulated the BRICS. So it's going to be a conglomerate of them and also the EU as well, pursuant to Revelation 17 and 16. also pursuing Obadiah 1 and 7, man. All right, those that were in league, all right, with this whore are going to turn against her, and they're going to prevail against her. You see? Let's continue on. So they're in battle formation against her, man. This place is surrounded, man. Look, from thence she shall be taken, man. You see that? Their arrows, which are the missiles, shall be as of a mighty expert man, because the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is going to be on them. None shall return in vain. They're not going to miss their mark. Jumping back down, the phone chimed in. And it's the beloved brother Yasha Mount, the beloved priest out of Mississippi. All right, Lord willing, we're going to try to tap into his live. I mean, this is straight to the point. Either way, I do want to share that article and probably one more video with you, beloved Akim and Akwak. Bear with me. Jumping back down to verse 23 again, and 24 is the point. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder, right? All right, this is the hammer of the whole earth. This is the land that had control over all the nations, man. That's why, as a matter of fact, real quick, when you go to Revelations 17, okay, and 18, it says what? And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth, man. All right, Mystery Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America. All right, this is the hammer, the abominations of the earth, the one that's been controlling the narrative, all right, for over 200 years, man. Okay, look, let's go back. Jeremiah 50, continuing on. In verse 23, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? We explained it via verse 9, right? And there's more, right? We're going to jump to a major prophecy, man. I'm speaking right now via this article I have. All right. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon. See, the Lord's been playing pretty much setting this dude up since the beginning. Had him in a trick bag the whole time. Look, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon. Right, and remember, Babylon is talking to America. The daughter of Babylon, Mystery Babylon the Great. Okay, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught. See? Because thou hast striven. Right, thou hast fought against the Lord Yahweh, man. In more ways than one. Beginning with fighting against his people. Our so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Unbeknownst to you, there was going to be a debt. All right, that needed to be paid. All right, via the tribulation you caused us, man. You see? And it's going to be recompensed by Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. He's going to vindicate us. All right, and that time is coming deadly close, man. Deadly close. Let's go ahead. This is from Zero Hedge. All right. And it's dated June 19th, 2025, excuse me. Right, Juneteenth. Right, you stupid niggas out there celebrating this smack in your face of a holiday. But anyways, the title reads, Kremlin warns against U.S. intervention in Iran. All right, look it. I'm going to read that again. Kremlin warns against U.S. intervention in Iran. Tells Israeli leaders, come to your senses, man. Okay, so you can see Gog, Magog, Russia is coming with a bold stance, all right, towards the West and towards Israel. All right, letting them know, hey, though, as far as the U.S. is concerned, you better fall back. Don't even think about it, okay, because you know what's going to come out of it. You see? And look, it says, tells Israeli leaders, come to your senses, man, because you know it ain't going to end well for you. And that's the reality, man, of the prophecy of Jeremiah 49 and also Jeremiah 50 and 45. That's the reality at the end. They're gonna be a desolation together. Okay, Babylon and Israel, man. Via biblical prophecy, man. Okay? Matter of fact, let me get this video real quick. I got another video real quick through the Spirit. Check this out. Where is it? There it goes.
Have all of these. Having a 90% success rate, that's a lie. We're sending up dozens of interceptors from the Iron Dome, and almost all of them are failing. We may get one or two successfully that hit. So we're expending millions upon millions.
Hey, fair use, fair use. This is not for monetary gain. This is for educational purposes only. For you Aki Aminakwa don't know, this is redacted. I watch them often, honestly, to tap into the talking points that are currently happening around the world. Ultimately, they're working for the Lord. Okay, as we can read in what's that? Psalm 64. Their own tongue shall fall upon themselves. This is what we witness when we watch platforms like this. With these Edomites speaking on talking points of prophecy, they don't even realize it. But through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim El Shai, we can put these things together. Check this out.
Of dollars from the Iron Dome on a regular basis. Then you saw Seymour Hersh's reporting that says that the Iranian strike is coming from the president. What is your assessment, Colonel?
Yeah, listen, in terms of the Iron Dome, it's a multi-layered system. It's the Iron Dome, it's the David Sling, it's the Arrow 3, it's the U.S. THAAD system, U.S. Patriot systems, and according to Netanyahu earlier today, also our Aegis ships in the sea off the coast, all of which are trying to help provide air defense for Israel. But as we had Ted Postel, a former MIT professor, on the show yesterday, who graphically depicted that there are whole scores of flows of Iranian missiles that come in that don't even have an attempt at an interception. And then some of the video were...
Right, ultimately, this whole Golden Dome idea is a farce. Okay, they're actually dispensing way more missiles to defend against one than it's logically purposeful, for it to be logically purposeful. You see, so, and then going back to what Trump's talking about the Golden Dome over here in the West, that's a dream. That's not going to come true. All right, because ultimately, when you read Joel, it tells us that when these missiles are shot, nothing shall escape them, for one. And for two, when they fall upon the sword, they're not going to break their rank. It's showing you that this whole Golden Dome missile defense system that they're trying to set up is just a figment of their own imagination. Check this out.
There were some attempts. You see most of them miss. It's looking like somewhere around 10% effectiveness, which is actually surprising in some regards. It's that high because a lot of the interceptor missiles, especially those the hypersonic missiles, there's nothing that either we or Israel has that can intercept those. That's why they're having such effect on the ground. So we need to understand that very clearly, that this mirage that Israel had, this protective air defense dome over it, which was always a myth, now is being exposed as a myth. And who knows that maybe that's the reason why Trump postponed for his alleged answer for whether or not he's going to join the war for a couple of weeks, because maybe they want to get more interceptors in for Israel, because, I mean, at least 10% is better than no percent. So maybe they need to restock that. I don't have any independent knowledge about whether they're running out of interceptor missiles a lot. I read the Wall Street Journal article that said that they were running low. It stands to reason, because when you use that many missiles over this concentrated period of time, you're going to run short on them, and we don't have the capacity to continue to manufacture these things at pace. We can't do it for ourselves, for Ukraine, or Israel. So hopefully President Trump is looking at some spreadsheets and going, it wouldn't be a good idea to get into a war that we don't have the capacity to continue to wage to protect our people and still have any kind of a success. So I really hope that's what is going on.
Now, it gives us a sense that Israel and the American administration, no matter who's in power in the Uniparty, has lied to us about an Iron Dome, giving us this false sense of security that it can be done when clearly it can't. And Israelis should feel lied to about this, watching bombs rain down in a city they said they were told this couldn't happen to. But is there maybe some tactical... It's awful to say this, but, people have been dying there for years now, that let Israel run out and then they have to negotiate when their government shows no appetite for negotiation. In fact, they launched this to thwart negotiations. Is there who has to die in the meantime, but is that a tactic?
Well, listen, I mean, it's not like they need to run out. I mean, I think that they need to be cognizant they don't have a protection now. Whether they have another 500 missiles or not, they're still going to get a very small percentage of the incoming missiles. Of course, we also don't know how many more Iran has. There's some allegations they have several thousand more that they could use. Some people claim they're getting close to the end. No one really knows. We'll just have to wait and see what continues to happen. I'm pretty confident that Iran would, even if they were getting low, they would have reserved a certain amount for the expectation that they have to fight the United States someday. They don't want to do that empty-handed. So I'm sure that they have some decent amount left, but that needs to be happening. What you described, finding a way out of this diplomatically needs to be happening right now. But unfortunately, from all I've seen today, and I saw a number of comments from Netanyahu, that he's just trying, doubling down and trying to suck the United States in to fight this for him, because I think they realize militarily they're not going to be able to win this on the ground or achieve any kind of success that they may want. They're not going to be able to take out the Fordo system. And by the way, just to be clear, in case anybody's confused on this, the claim that our GBU-57 bunker buster, that 30,000-pound bomb, would take out Fordo, I think is very unlikely to be accurate, because what nobody that I've seen is talking about this in the Western side is that the Iranians apparently, according to some Chinese sources, have developed their system so that instead of just a bunch of ground or just concrete that the missile could try to penetrate through, it's actually broken up in granite and some angles. And so when the missile comes in, it will knock it off course and deflect it, and then it can be broken up by the other pieces. Probably 50 feet is about all you're going to get, and you got to go more than 300 to get there if you know where under the ground at Fordo the actual systems are, and we don't know that. So everybody needs to understand the chances of us actually taking this out, even if we enter the fight, is pretty low. And why would you want to risk something that has a low probability of success and a high probability of getting Americans killed in the blowback that would definitely come is anybody's guess. And I again hope that's the reason why Trump delayed, because sources I had in the White House told me that the chance that there would have been a bomb dropped by this weekend was pretty high, and now all of a sudden it looks like it won't be. But then again, who can really tell with Trump, right? He can change his mind anytime.
Maybe a two-pronged question here. What does China do? Sources I've been speaking to today say this is the big wild card here. China will not lose their proxy in Iran. They have massive deals, Belt and Road Initiative deals with Iran, massive amounts of oil deals that fuel China. They are not going to allow Iran to fall. So what will China do? And I guess the other piece of this is when you hear Khomeini say that the battle has just begun and Israel is sort of battening down the hatches for tonight in the next 48 hours could be pivotal. What do you think that he means by the battle has just begun?
Well, I think that I guess, well, let me take your questions in order. First of all, about the Chinese. I mean, a lot of reports have been suggesting over the last 2 or 3 days, a lot of Chinese transports, 747 style aircraft have come in delivering something. We don't know what. I actually think the bigger issue is what Vladimir Putin said. I think it was earlier today, maybe it was yesterday. I saw the video this morning where he said, listen, we're going to be, my people are going to be at the Bashir nuclear facility. We might go as many as 600 people in there, and we are not leaving. Making it clear that if you want to go to war with Russia, you hit that facility. But otherwise, he said, we're not going to leave. So,
see that? Hey, Esau losing. Okay? Hey, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is putting on the spirit, all right, of these kings of the earth to bring the smoke to these Western Edomites. You see? And he's raising up Russia to do it, man. Hey, let's get some of this article. Look it. Zero Hedge, all right, again. It's dated June 19th, 2025. Title reads, Kremlin warns against U.S. intervention in Iran. Right? Tells Israeli leaders, come to your senses. Moscow has warned Washington against getting involved in military actions targeting Iran, saying that such interference could lead to uncontrollable escalation and dire consequences. Russian Foreign Minister spokeswoman Maria Zakharova described during a Thursday press briefing at the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, it reads, quote, we would like to especially warn Washington against military intervention in the situation, which would be extremely dangerous, which would be an extremely dangerous step, with truly unpredictable negative consequences, man. All right. Now, if that's not a threat, I don't know what is. Okay. But ultimately, it's prophecy, man. Speaking volumes, man. Hey, prophecy is speaking. Hey, let's close out with this. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, starting from verse 1, and it reads, "And the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog." Right, and understand, Magog was one of the sons of Japheth. Okay? That's the same land of the northern, eastern part of the world. Okay? That's why these cats call themselves Ashkenazi. That's the same region. You see? And that's where Russia is now. You have to prophetically make this make sense and then measure the times diligently in itself. And what you see, exactly what the scriptures say right now, real time. But you got to have the spirit on you to see it. Otherwise, you would deny it. Look, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. See, so ultimately the Lord is against Russia as well. Why? Because they're Edomites, they're heathen, period. The Lord's just using them. The Lord's using them, okay, as a tool, all right, to execute his mission. You see? Continuing on, and I will turn thee back. See? The Lord said he will turn him back and put hooks in thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army. Right? So he's bringing Russia back into that old USSR spirit, man. All right? They're about that smoke. All right? There's no turning back. There's no digressing. All right? There's no making deals. Okay? Silver and gold isn't going to suffice. No. Yahweh Bashim Shai got on their spirit to fight. See? Because that's the time we're in. We're in the time of war. Look. Horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor. Even a great company with bucklers and shields. All of them handling swords, man. Okay? Look at Persia. All right? Which is Iran. You see that? Ethiopia and Libya with them. All of them with the shield and helmet. All right? Gomer, which is Turkey, and all his bands, the house of Torgama, of the north quarters, and all his bands and many people with him. Listen to this. And the Lord saying to Russia, Be thou prepared, and prepared for thyself, man. Right? Thou and all thy company, man, that are assembled unto thee. We read about it briefly in Jeremiah 50 and 9. You see the assembly of great nations from the north? Look at, and be thou a guard unto them. You see, so Russia is a guard unto them, man. Okay? Hey, this is the reality of the story, man. And it doesn't end well for you Edomites. All right? Prophecy is going to walk you people down, man. All right? And as we always say, prophecy's undefeated. At the end of the day, our reality is going to become you people's reality, man. And there's nothing you can do to escape it. Shalom.